We're here.
I wish I could give this feeling. I wish I could give this feeling. On the corner.
What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Corner Podcast. Kel Dansby here with old man Andreas Hale and producer Coale. Baby.
Man, I really wish we had things to talk about this week.
Man, right? Like you would think.
Really
like,
slow.
Yeah.
To rack my brain for an opening segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
These are the weeks that make it tough.
No,
we're kidding. It's nuclear.
So good to be back.
Yeah.
The
been a while.
WWE
Mm-hmm.
is front and center.
Because it's Shanky dancing.
And it's not because of Shanky
No?
dancing.
No,
It's
wait.
not because of SummerSlam.
What? But Jeff Jarrett,
Yo, how ripped is Jeff Jarrett, though?
he looks really good.
He's not. Poor Ric Flair.
The juice.
Oh, shit, we got to talk about Ric Flair.
yeah, we do.
I almost forgot about Ric Flair.
Hey,
Yo,
We'll save that for the end.
I
But
have my grandma light a candle for him. Pray for the man. Like something like we need Rick
oh,
to
boy.
not pass away after this weekend. But so much wrestling coming up. We're going to talk SummerSlam and preview the whole damn thing. We got to talk Raw, specifically for something I'll mention in a second. We also have AEW with back-to-back big weeks. We have ROH that we have to recap. Plenty to talk about there. And then
got to preview SummerSlam?
Yep.
Got to preview that SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. But starting out,
Mm.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon retires.
Yeah.
Air quotes. If
Yeah,
you're watching
keep the air
this on
quotes.
YouTube. Retires at the age of 73 on Friday. Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan, somewhat friend of the podcast, named co-CEOs of the WWE. Triple H, Paul Levesque, named head of talent relations and head of creative. You said it would never happen.
He hasn't taken over yet.
Monday, they had a picture of him with the headset.
And wait.
He had the headset
Wait.
on.
And
Handshake
yes.
deal.
I said, no. Look, this is the most extreme case that this could have possibly ever happened.
By
right?
hook or by crook, Dre?
Yeah.
By hook or
Look.
by crook. I
Look.
thought Vince had to die.
Well, we could be close.
Like, listen, I don't know man's health.
Look,
Like,
look,
people-
it's not even that. It's
People
not,
suffer from broken hearts or something. A lot of people work
that's what I'm talking about.
constantly, and that keeps them going.
Because there's so many, like, we've seen so many marriages where the spouse dies and then the husband or wife pass away shortly thereafter because
Yeah.
they can't live without him. You die from a broken heart.
This is his spouse.
Him and Linda haven't lived together in years. Like, there's nothing there, right? He cheated on Linda on WWE television. He doesn't care about her.
Obviously. $14 million says their marriage isn't the greatest right
Yeah, but the fact that Vince has been forced to retire from the company that he helped build, and every single day of his life has been pro wrestling, and he has to take a step back, like retire, because depending on how this whole situation plays out, we don't know. Vince could sneak back in there, right?
now.
It's doubtful, but
Yeah.
it's still his company.
Got a lot of shares. as long as you're a majority shareholder, shit gets diced. Now, if more stuff comes out and he has to sell those shares,
Oh, we're not done.
I'm
Let's
going to
be
be
clear.
very interested. Because again, I think he's still the majority owner.
Yeah. Let's be clear. This isn't done. The reason why he retired is because he knows what's coming.
Yes.
So he tried to preemptively get ahead of it by saying, "Oh, it's time for me to go." No, it's not.
That's good booking, though.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's like, he booked himself out of the company
Yeah.
in hopes that things would come back. But man, what is this the biggest story in WWE history?
yes.
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
bigger
I
than
mean-
this? WCW purchase was huge, right?
Yes.
The steroid scandal was huge, right?
Steroid scandal was huge. By the way, he retires 25 years to the day that he beat the steroid scandal. Walked out of the court, arm in arm with Linda, beat it. Don't have to pay anything. Company's not going bankrupt, which people
Right.
feared. Celebration, giant smile on his face. 25 years to the day he retires from this.
This is incredible.
I mean, it's the biggest story because and we've sat here on this podcast saying it ourselves. The only way Vince McMahon stops running WWE is he falls over and dies. That's what I mean. That's what we were trending for until all this happened. So like the fact that something finally took him down, because
Took
again,
himself down, to be fair.
what hasn't the dude survived? I mean, the steroid scandal, he shall not be named, Chris Benoit, like all of that.
2 quads or whatever it was.
2 quad tears. WCW trying to kill him.
Yeah.
There's so
AEW.
And the fact that, this happens with no pomp or circumstance, right? Like this is on just a random Friday at, what it was like right before it was before SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a couple hours before that.
Stephanie went out there and cried.
And
Thank you, Dad.
And he's just like, oh, by the way, I'm retiring. And even in his press release, he wrote it like a normal thing. It was like, and don't forget to tune into SmackDown. SmackDown.
That's all he knows, Cole.
And I was just like, what? Like that's for everyone who gets the pomp. Undertaker got to go play life coach for about an hour and a half at the Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
Vince McMahon is not going to get any of that. Well, I shouldn't say that.
There's still time.
If he remains with us for several more years and this news blows over enough in WWE time, he will get a ceremony of some sort.
Yeah,
Of course.
No, but one, would you be surprised if he ended every phone call with "tune into SmackDown"?
No.
Or just random phone calls, like on the daily? Maybe that's just his sign off. Like that's his goodbye.
That's his signature.
That's it.
Right? Like it's
on
an
everything.
auto signature. Like, tune in to SmackDown. Can we talk real quick about how extraordinarily petty Tony Khan is?
Oh,
The longest tenured CEO in pro wrestling. God damn, Tony.
yeah, Tony.
It's the same thing as you sat in here in this room with him. It's the
Yes.
same exact thing as the Dana White thing.
Yeah.
And he just like,
New
and
Japan
as he,
guys looking at him though, like
oh yeah, yeah, that's true.
I'm still here.
As he answered that question that you asked him, he had just the biggest shit-eating grin on his face too. Like
Yeah.
he just like he gets it. He knows how to play this game.
I wish Brett would have went after him though.
Oh.
Brett should have just tweeted a picture of him and Stephanie, like Stephanie McMahon with the longest tenured CEO of pro wrestling. Just Brett.
Yeah,
Stephanie
Brett Lauderdale.
there.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out to GC Dub.
So here's the deal, right? Because we got to talk about the ramifications of his retirement. What exactly it means. Like, we had recorded our show right before the retirement last week. The retirement happens. I'm in California, in San Diego. Real quick, this is how washed I am. Let me tell you guys how washed I am. So I decided to take the family to San Diego. I want to take my kids to SeaWorld. And, my
Was
niece-
it boring? I heard SeaWorld's boring as shit.
I mean, it's fine. Watching my daughter get excited was great, right? So it's like I go visit my pops in Temecula, go do some wine tastings, go to San Diego. Now, as I'm booking my room, I'm like, why are these shit so expensive? I'm not even thinking. I'm like, why is everything so expensive in San Diego? Well, book a room in Gaslamp District, right in the heart of Gaslamp. It's really expensive. I don't give a shit. I was like, it'll be a Gaslamp. So I get there and I'm like, oh, it's Comic-Con.
You just see a bunch of people cosplaying. You're just like,
I have covered Comic-Con for 7 years. This is the first time I haven't covered Comic-Con since the pandemic, the first active Comic-Con that I missed. And I was sitting there like, holy shit, I'm washed up. Because I'm not watching Marvel panels and Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, which is incredible. I'm watching.
AEW had a pen.
Yeah, they did. Exactly.
It's like,
I'm watching fucking orcas and dolphins jump around with my kids. I was like, I'm washed up. But the AEW panel happened and Mega Ran had hit me and was like, you coming to the panel? And I was like, what panel? I was like, dog, I'm so washed up right now. Like, I have no idea what's going on. At any rate, obviously, we'll talk about AEW stuff, but this is the fallout of this, because now we got to see it take shape. Because if we would have done it on Friday, we wouldn't known Triple H was head of creative.
no.
Like, we would just been just yelling, shit.
Right.
Now we got some direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Triple H is head of creative. There are people that are saying that Nick Khan is about to take over the company. He's not. Nick Khan is not taking over
No.
this company.
He has some more power.
He has power, but it's the same kind of power he had before. Like, people are acting like because Vince is not there anymore, Nick's job has changed. He's still doing the same shit, basically.
I would argue it's a little different.
Well, you don't have Vince.
Yeah. So now when it comes down to cutting people,
Yeah.
Because it was still cost-cutting measures, right? Like to hire and lower the bottom line. Like you wanted to make more money for the company, which they did by cutting some of these contracts that were ludicrous. Like they hoarded talent. Like you were just wasting money.
Yeah.
Now, it's a little different, and we'll see how this goes going forth because you got to sign more people. You'll probably, obviously, sign younger, cheaper talent and develop stars. So other people are going to be cut here and there. It'll be interesting if he cuts, quote unquote, the Triple H guys now. Because he cut all of them before. But then you're just like, well, Vince is okay with that. But now he's above Hunter. So if he's like, yo, Hunter, this guy got to go. Yo, Finn is out of here. Knock is out of here. Hunter just got to eat that because he does have more power now.
Well, he had more power before. It was the only power that, obviously, Vince is the only other person. They're like two sides of the street, right? So now it's just Stephanie on the other side of the street with Nick. And Nick's job before was looking at the books and was like, is this guy on TV? No, cut him. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
What are we doing?
why are you spending all this money on Mojo Rawley? I keep picking on Mojo because I can't help myself. But it's like you paying him, whatever it is, $500,000 to do nothing. You cut people. But now it's like he's still doing the same thing. Now he's probably going to run it by Hunter. Like, are they going to be used on television or not? What's more interesting to see is how this whole NIL thing happens with all these athletes that Vince's vision has already been brought in, and now Hunter's got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because now, like we've talked about before, you got all this green talent. Like, dog, I just watched, I caught up on NXT 2.0.
Boy.
Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even, like, I don't want to degrade the talent because there is some great Cameron Grimes, Carmelo Hayes.
Even the people who aren't seasoned like that.
Right.
They have some diamonds in the rough down there.
They do.
There's some athletes. The women, I can project some of the women.
Yep.
Even the twerker chick, the Nikita Lyons chick. She's not great, but I can project those things, right?
Lash Legend is pretty bad.
No, Lash Legend isn't great. Not everyone's going to make it, right? But
fair.
but
Cora Jade, Roxanne, like those are.
There's some people to project. I mean, Mandy Rose's crew is great. That could work on the main roster now. Gigi Dolan is great.
Oh, no. They
have talent.
Yeah.
It being on network television is the problem. If that was on the WWE network or if that was on Peacock, then we're cool. But the fact that you parade that out, now you got to do high spots. Now you got to get people hurt. Like, it gets real complicated.
But the thing is this is my point. The thing is that Hunter's initiative was signing great workers, no matter what size.
Yep.
Like, they were just great workers. You can. NXT was like, well, let's get them TV ready. They've been working this indie scene. Here's a hard cam. Here's where we got to be. That's what they were learning as indie wrestlers. Vince's vision was, I don't care if they have indie talent. Get that athlete. Yep. Now, sometimes that works. Brock Lesnar, obviously.
Hunter did some of that.
But I'm saying.
Hence we have the Street Profits.
Right. You don't
get
get
a mix of both.
Yeah, you don't get a guys with a ton of, but they went so heavy on one side.
Yeah.
And then you put all of them on TV, and the Indy Hartwell Lash Legend match was an absolute debacle.
Oh, my God.
And I know Hunter was sitting there like, oh, my God, like, what is this? Now you got to fix that. Because you're not, you have to go to talk to Sean now.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, I'm doing what Bruce and Vince
Right.
told me to do.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
came down here 4 months ago.
Bruce, Vince, and Kevin Dunn. Like, you are. So you got to fix. There's like these things you have to fix now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to shake out
Shout out
because
to Sean Ross Sapp, though, who reported 2 weeks ago, before any of this happened.
Right.
2 weeks ago, WWE has a tryout. Next tryout's coming.
Yeah.
Not the one Big E is judging with NIL kids. The next tryout is coming. They're inviting indie wrestlers. Said that 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, interesting. Okay.
They're
just
trying
trying
to
to
talk about
find
a dude who's
one.
been busy the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm like, they're just trying to find one. Nope. This was coming.
well,
So I think we're
don't
going to
know.
see more of that mix back with Hunter. It's just now how much trust you have with those people.
Well, yeah, that's you just don't know, right?
Screwed over a lot of them.
Because you people love Hunter, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, most people that worked with Hunter will say, I would have never got cut if Hunter was running creative.
Yeah.
Right? I would have never got cut.
I would at least been used.
Right.
If I was cut, at least
There's already like reports of a lot of people saying like, I wouldn't have left.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna ask? Like,
some people might come back.
Well,
Gargano's still out there.
it's possible, right?
First call has to be to Sasha, by the way. You got to go to Sasha and Naomi and be like, yo,
That's
we got to come to Nashville
Yeah.
on some cloak shit. Like,
Before there was
we gotta sit
zero
down.
chance, there is a realistic chance.
Like, we
Yeah.
got to sit down.
That's a very good point.
That got to be the first call.
You got to hash that one out.
Those two, maybe Bray, figure it out. And then go from there. Because there's some cachet in those people.
Well, yeah, you start with Naomi and Sasha. Obviously.
Yeah, has like
So here's the thing. So we go into SmackDown. Brock reportedly leaves, right? He's mad because there are Vince people.
Yeah.
Brock is one of them.
Yep.
Because how else would Brock would make all this money if it was so little
Yep.
work, right? Now, look, let's be clear. Vince is a genius in some ways, right?
yes.
There's some things that Vince has done that's been absolutely incredible.
Roman Reigns' character now is incredible.
It took him
He's
a long
still-
time to figure that
But
out.
he still has a stroke of genius.
There are times where Vince comes up with something that's like, this is amazing.
Yep.
And his company's been built around that. Now, obviously, we've all said the same thing. The old man's getting senile. Some of this shit is just
Yeah.
really bad. So maybe we'll have some continuity with Hunter. But I always wonder, like, can Vince really sit at home and just watch? Or will he be in like some unmarked van with like the feds headsets on? It was like, all right, try theory out there.
I'm from Gorilla 2. Gorilla 2.
Now that is a great question because now, let's just assume no. Because
Right.
we've all worked and been passionate and stuff like it's hard to just take a complete step back when you have people in it still. You may reach the impasse where you got to look at this and be like, yo, there's a mole in the building. Because as hunky-dory as you want to make it seem sometimes, if there's a new boss in which there's Hunter and there's still Vince guys at the table, it might be talking to Vince, cutting Hunter's feet out from under him, right? Like, how long do the Vince people still there last? Because you're not going to stop talking to a friend.
Yeah.
Above all. So, like, Kevin, like, all right, so Dunn's in the truck. Like, yo, what is with this million camera cuts? Wow. And then he goes and pillow talks to Vince and they're conspiring and all this. Like, how long do you last?
I don't know.
I think Bruce can adjust, maybe. But still, are you too close to the situation?
I've got $1 million question for both of you. Is Stephanie McMahon a Vince person or a Hunter person? Who is she siding with in this?
Stephanie McMahon is Vince McMahon's daughter through and through. She's a self-preservationist. Vince was, for quite some time, his father's guy. He bought it, still did commentary, still did a lot of stuff his father told him to. When it came down to elevating the business, when he was in charge, he was a Vince guy. She learned from Vince. She does what's best for business. That character was not a gimmick. She's about her. They now all have to be Stephanie McMahon people.
So
Trips has to be a Stephanie McMahon guy. She would sell him out if it meant for the good of the company.
what is the good of the company?
She said thank you to her father.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dad, we miss you. But she just took a hiatus because she wanted, no. What? He's out of here? I'm back. Because the company is their family. Dad, thank you for everything you did. Get the hell out of here. This is mine.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's to get the hell out of here.
Everyone.
I think
if
I think
Trips
it's
wiles out and it sucks, Trips is gone. She might bring Shane back.
well,
She might
Shane ain't coming back.
Listen,
Shane-
I'm never
Shane-
saying never with this family.
You never say never, but Shane ain't coming back.
No, like
I-
a nephew can come. I don't know. I don't know, but she would do whatever it takes to keep this in that direct bloodline.
But
And
that's
not
what I'm
even
saying.
her mother. Like her
Well-
yo, mom, you married into this. Chill. Wow. No, our direct bloodline, we keeping it here. She don't care. And Trips ain't in that direct bloodline. You a spouse, my man. You are disposable.
So, Cole, I'm going to ask the same question to you. I'm going to preface it with this off of what Kel said. I don't think Stephanie is a self-preservationist. I think Stephanie's daddy's girl. And the company will, in some, like, if push came to shove, she's going to choose her father over Hunter.
Yeah.
And I think here's where you're right, is that I think as much as we love Triple H and everybody loves Triple H, if Stephanie, I don't know if Stephanie sees that vision. You got to remember, Stephanie ran SmackDown. Stephanie ran creative. I don't know if she sees things the way that Triple H sees things. Maybe she does. But if Daddy calls, it's like, Steph, what are you doing? What are you doing to my company? I don't know if she's going to buck that. I think that is a very interesting power struggle between your wife and your father. Because if it wasn't for Dad, there'd be no WWE. Now, you also have to acknowledge he might be a little senile and crazy and maybe he's not running the business right. But that promo that started SmackDown, it felt gross to me because it was like, dude, he's paying women off they sexually harassed.
Yeah.
But it also signals like, well, that's always going to be Daddy's little girl. Like, I hate to say this, but if your daughter went out there and murdered somebody, she's still your kid.
Yeah. God,
right? You still love your daughter.
Yeah.
You don't love that other person.
No.
It's like, oh, she shouldn't have done that, but that's my girl. So, Coale, is Stephanie, is Triple H, is Stephanie a Triple H person or a Vince person?
This is some Godfather shit going on in
You're
here.
watching a lot of Succession.
It is Succession.
Watching a lot of Succession.
Yes.
Stephanie is Shiv. It is Succession.
Holy shit. It's such a loaded question. I mean, I think I run into the same boat that you do, Kel. I think Stephanie has at this point, she's done enough in her career in WWE that she's kind of become her own entity. And she really is truly a blend of both. I truly believe that, where I think she wouldn't be back here doing this and Triple H being put at head of creative. Like, that's a Stephanie McMahon decision as well. Like, Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon are making that call.
Yeah.
Because they could have picked anyone else, right? They could have gone Bruce Stay. They could have gone Sean, take your NXT thing and come up here. God forbid.
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, right? Yeah. There's plenty of people, but they put Trips in charge, and I think there's a lot of reports now coming, and this is going to be, prepare yourself for the next like several weeks. It's just going to be all reports of all the dust that's been piling up on Vince McMahon behind the scenes. Because already we're getting, again, SRS, pray for that man. That man's been the busiest. That man's phone's probably never stopped beeping since this news has happened. But, they were reporting that, like they had to adjust their notes for like whatever Vince was telling them, like creatively, and be like, you had to be able to like speak the Vince language and filter him was the word filter. So they know the mental state and the state of mind in general of Vince McMahon, and knew that, like, I think everybody's been waiting for this moment to happen, but they also can't say no to him, right?
Yeah.
He had to do this himself. Again, hey, why, like, this is an investigation that's been going on. Why didn't it happen sooner? Why didn't it leak out sooner? Like, if someone wanted to take him down earlier, I'm sure someone could have tried for it.
I mean, that's Succession, like 101.
Again,
like
right?
I got some deep theories.
Timing is everything. And we're not going to get the full picture until way further down the road. But I think in the essence of where WWE is going, Stephanie McMahon is a Paul Levesque, Triple H guy. And I think it's important here to take into account here that this is just, as far as, obviously it's Paul who's leading creative.
Yeah.
He is now behind the camera. He had the heart issue. Yeah. He's probably not going to be an on-camera character, at least for the foreseeable future. Maybe in a year that changes.
I mean, he'll show up.
He'll show up, but it'll be like more like kind of what he did at WrestleMania. They brought him out there. He did the little water spit and was like, WrestleMania, like, great.
We are WWE.
Yeah, exactly. He'll do like the coach speak, right? But for the character of Hunter Hearst Helmsley, this is fucking poetic. It really is. Like, his whole character arc of him, like, weaseling his way to the top. He marries Stephanie McMahon.
Did it again.
He's DX, he's anti-corporate, and then he's all corporate, and then he is, the head of the corporate who is taking down Daniel Bryan. Like, he struggles with this power because he sees himself as the best, but nobody else does. And now he's leading creative. It's fucking poetic. Pro wrestling's great.
Carlson's nuts.
Still not the best. He's still.
But he thinks he's the best, Kel. That's what matters. That's his character.
Works for his wife. And that's so when you ask the question, is she a Triple H? No, because he works for her.
Right.
She never has to be.
It's crazy.
He is still not all the power. And that's what it's the biggest thing we learned from NXT. You built something incredible. The universe universally loved this. You don't got shit if they want to take it from you tomorrow.
Yep.
And now all this power, creative, SmackDown, Raw, all this stuff, that's great. If your wife wants to take this shit tomorrow,
let's go.
You got nothing. He works for her. She does not work. She doesn't have to be a Triple H.
But also we don't.
She's
we
great
don't,
though. She's throwing him a bone.
Again, like Vince's thing was always so hands-on, right? His whole persona was to be hands-on with every process of WWE to the point where he was always sitting in gorilla for everything, even at this age. Like, what are Stephanie McMahon's aspirations as far as that? Is she someone who wants to lead creative?
Probably not.
Right?
No.
Like,
I feel like she's done everything.
She's done everything.
So now she can be like,
she can if she wants to, but does she really want to? Right. So, and that's what we're going to learn this very quickly, what the aspirations of everyone is, right?
Triple H might be like, Johnny Gargano is headlining WrestleMania. And Stephanie would be like,
get the fuck out of here.
Excuse me. Like
Trips just goes, I don't give a shit. Give me Adam Cole. Call Adam Cole.
So I think there's still a box he has to operate in.
Yes.
And,
of course there is.
She controls that box with Daddy's mind frame. He will help the tag team division tremendously. He'll help the mid card tremendously. Built both of those great in NXT. He lived there himself for quite some time.
Yeah.
He understands that. At the top of the main card, I think she's still like, yeah, so Theory's great. Yeah, you like Finn Balor. Yeah, we have these other people. Yeah, it's going to be Rock versus Roman. And he's like, no, well, it's better if we get this person to take Rock versus Roman. And he's just like, all right, babe. And then that's it. Shut the hell up and go do your job.
I got an interesting name to bring up here.
This is my favorite one.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes. Cody Rhodes.
It's a fascinating thing. Like, what do we...
He literally took a sledgehammer to the throne in AEW and then signed with this whole vision with that clearly he and Vince would have talked through. And now Trips is there. And like they've reportedly, like, they've talked and,
Sure they did.
I mean, again, they're both professionals. Triple H is a guy that to me, like, would see that. And like, now that the dust is settled and like emotions are out of it, he probably respects Cody for what he did as far as like
probably
standing up. Does he like him? I don't know.
I drove a tank to WCW. I get what you
Yeah. Exactly. Like there's definitely going to be a mutual respect there of like, all right, Cody, you went and did a thing, like, and you went for it. I got nothing but respect for you. Does he like him?
Probably not.
I don't know. Right? Like how much water under that bridge is there? I don't know.
I doubt they're going to dinners. Like breaking bread.
They're not best friends.
No.
But also like Cody signed on this deal for one. Like we know where he needs to get to eventually.
Cody's a made man. Like
that's also
Trips
true.
could be headed create it. You can't justify Cody coming back and not pushing him to the moon.
Correct.
Like then you'd be bad for business.
He comes out. I mean, that whenever I would assume he comes out for Rumble, that pop is going to be crazy.
You can't run this emotionally.
No,
like you're locked in. Now, years from now, maybe you give him a shitty first title run, you pull him off, and then you might have something to like push him back to the mid card. But like this year you're stuck. If Rock doesn't come back, we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
So here's the next question. Cole, do you watch Succession?
I've not all the way caught up, but yes, I've watched Succession.
So we know how the Roy family runs, right?
Yeah.
The Roy family is a mess.
Yeah.
So here's a question. With everything that's happened, it seems like everybody's conveniently fallen into a certain place, right? Triple H is falling into creative. Stephanie's co-CEO after leaving and coming back. Nick Khan is there. Who leaked this information? Did it come from the inside?
Oh, hands down. Hands down.
That means somebody stabbed Vince in the back.
Yeah.
Somebody,
you know it.
Somebody close to him.
You know it.
Because let's just be clear. The way that this is all played out, it kind of came out of nowhere the day that it happened.
Yep.
The first report. Now, Hunter was out of the picture. Stephanie had just left. Like, everybody keeps showing the Mortal Kombat Nick Khan thing.
Coincidence? my thing is coincidence that she randomly says, I need a break. That Trips is gone for a long time, then gets healthy after the heart thing and never comes back and doesn't go back to NXT or anything. And then you look around. I ask you this. How about this? If Trips, we're playing hypotheticals, doesn't have the heart problem, doesn't get stripped of his NXT power, they don't go from NXT to 2.0. Do you think this comes out? All the Vince stuff.
This, I don't know. Like, this is a real question because you have to also think about this. Everybody that Hunter had around him is also gone.
Everybody.
Regal's gone. Everybody's gone.
This is the problem, too. When a lot of people have been in this business for so long, a lot of people know shit.
Of course they do. Everybody knows where the bodies are buried.
Very small community back there, right? I'm not blaming Nick Khan for any. Zero. But he comes and he looks at the books. He don't know nobody from Adam. We got to cut this person. We got to cut this person. Not just wrestlers.
Right.
You're cutting workers and producers and all this. You start cutting people. How many people have gone on Renee's show and just talked openly about their time in the WWE?
Quite a few.
Imagine the people talking in the background.
Oh, of course.
Not even wrestlers.
Everybody.
Everybody in the background talking now that you're not feeding them after 20 years.
WWE Studios got shut down. Any of them could have talked.
So many people now to roll on you because it was a pandemic. People needed money more than anything. Easy for them to feel like, oh, you turned your back on us. Oh, you left us out there hanging, Vince. False promises. Oh, there's a lot of motive for not only just one person. Plenty of people to roll on. Because you need two sources.
When you've been around for what, 40 plus years in this bit, how do you not have dirt with
everybody?
People?
Everybody has dirt.
And Vince is Vince.
I'm gonna throw a name out there for you just for Succession WWE season 5. What if Linda McMahon did this?
Interesting. That's a plot twist.
Right. I'm just saying the Succession, right? I'm
not saying it all goes back. What WrestleMania was that?
17.
It all goes back to 17.
I know, like you don't even have to name the story. I know it's 17. It's a Trish Stratus story. Yeah. It's like you cheated on me on television. Yep. You tongue down. It's funny. I was listening on my drive back from San Diego this morning. I've been up since 3 a.m. I listened to the Grill and JR podcast for WrestleMania 17 because I was like trying to catch up on it. And there's a part where Jim Ross talks about how Vince, like, incredulously was like, I'm kissing Trish Stratus in this. I'm kissing Trish Stratus. And he would, like, laugh. And Jim Ross was like, if you're the boss, I guess you got to do what you got to do. And Trish just kind of had to play ball. So there was nothing else he could do. Obviously, JR's not referencing what's going on right now because this was recorded in 2021.
Yeah.
But when you listen to it now, you're like, oh, shit. Like, everybody saw it.
Yeah. Vince just horned up.
Yeah, he was just like, hey, he was bending her over. Like, he was doing, like, her, you got to go through these names. Her, Stacy Keibler.
Yeah, he has a type.
Tori Wilson.
Yes.
Ashley Marrero. Maria Kanellis. You go through that glut of divas that were there at the time. From, like, WrestleMania 17, and you fast forward to, like, 25 when they were still divas. And you go, well, everybody knew Vince was a creep.
Oh, super.
Oh, yeah.
Just who was the one that threw the flag? That's why I said Linda, because I was like, maybe Linda just got fed up one day.
My wife asked me this yesterday. She was like, oh, so, like, you know, it's 14 million payoffs to women that he had to pay off, obviously. That's on the books. Like,
yeah.
At this point, like, you can't.
They signed NDAs, but it's on the books.
Yeah, like, now it's open.
Paper
you know
trail.
why he paid this. So clearly he was cheating on her. So she was like, oh, so she's going to divorce him and leave him? And to play into your thing, no. Because why would you divorce him and leave him while a lot of the assets, technically, are still liquid assets? Like, how much money are you getting from him? Now, if you do leak all that info, he has to retire. He has to sell all his stocks because he's forced out. You can't have that man on the board. You can't have that man owning stocks. Now you got to sell all that. Now all of that is in his person. Now if you want to divorce him, you get half of a lot more.
Right.
So there is a plot under there.
This is when I tell you
tangle web we weave.
This is Succession with the Roy family. Like it's Logan, Shiv, Tom. Like Triple H is Tom. Triple H, like it's weird, right? Like Tom is Shiv's husband. For those who watch Succession, I'm sorry, you need to go watch it. But Tom realizes very quickly, oh, I really have no power.
Nah.
Yeah.
Like it's all about Shiv.
Yeah.
And even though Shiv like plays both sides, like everything that Shiv does, Tom is just Tom. Tom just wants Logan's approval. And he can't get it. And now as we enter this next season, for those of you who don't watch, I'm not going to spoil it for you. But now it's like Daddy turned the apple cart over.
Yeah.
In the season finale of 4, you were like, oh shit. That's why it's like you wonder, like, where did this info come from? What does it all mean? Obviously, for fans who just watch and don't give a shit about the business part, because people listen to this podcast like, get to the creative. I don't care about this business stuff. Yes, it's going to take about 6 months for us to see this all play out. Yeah. Like, how is creative really going to change?
Yes.
How's NXT really going to change? Who's going to get a push? Who's not? Like, what does this all mean? How is TV? I've heard the TV 14, I've heard the reports aren't necessarily true. We don't know exactly what's going on, but people that are waking up and going, I could watch Raw again tomorrow. Like,
yeah.
It was slightly better this
there
week.
was a lot of buzz for this week's Monday Night Raw. Like at the end of the day, like the changes that are going to be immediate are going to be so minor. It's going to be little things here and there.
It helped a ton.
Especially because of the timing of this, in which we are about to go into, as you said, the second biggest pay-per-view of the year in SummerSlam. So
know what I didn't see this
week?
week?
Might be some small changes, but that's it.
24/7 title.
No 24/7 title.
I mean, it doesn't show up every week. So
All
it
right,
could be back.
I'm just saying.
We like that though.
Yeah,
There was
we hate seeing
less of that, please.
There was 30, somewhere online had it, 37 minutes of actual wrestling in the first hour.
Yeah.
And when there wasn't, it opened up with a brawl. It's pretty cool. Not bad for like Logan and Miz. And then Roman Reigns, clear and air, great promo, him and Paul Heyman. Oh, incredible. Where you still
Daddy's not here now.
Yeah, Daddy's not like
perfect chant for New York City fans.
So like Theory still being prominently featured.
Even though he hasn't won a match.
No.
In like
you get that briefcase though, you're invincible.
Yeah, you just jobbed until you cash in.
Like Seth did that his entire run.
Yeah.
Seth didn't win shit. When it was with J&J Security, he lost constantly. But you featured him prominently. Roman Reigns looked strong. You built everything else up and then went into the first program and then had a one-on-one match turned into a tag team match that went 2 commercial breaks. So 3 segments.
That's kind of normal though, right?
Again, no, they've opened up with 25 minutes of talking before.
Well, no. I was saying like the match that turns into a tag match happens.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
That's a trope.
Again, they can't build anything that quick. But I'm saying the amount of wrestling was substantial. Okay, cool. Now you have backstage segments. I counted 4 backstage segments. Not everything was in the ring. So now you're building matches backstage. So AJ Styles randomly runs into Ziggler. It's like, oh, you guys are a tag team.
Nobody knows what, like,
that shows.
It's got to be very weird to be Ziggler right now. Because like, I just got brought back to do this weird thing with Theory that nobody understands.
No.
And like Hunter could come in and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. I hope AEW does this all the time. When something stinks, just like
drop it.
Like the next week you'll be like, what happened to him?
For the most part, they let some things go.
Some things cook a little bit too long.
Yeah.
The Nightmare Family was around for
oh my god,
way too long.
The TNT title thing with Sammy and
it's like the Ziggler thing is like I just wonder if like Hunter just walks in and was like, I don't like this. Yeah. Do I have to let it play out? Like, do I?
I think he does.
That's the thing. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Unless Stephanie's like, well, Daddy said,
Yeah.
I think the blueprint is laid through Saturday.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yo, you can't come in and just change everything.
I will say with some caveats, I think there might be some finishes that might be changed based off of where they're going now. But like, they're not going to change any like matches or anything like that.
And like even Raw and SmackDown, like they're go home shows. We're pretty locked into what's going to happen,
Can you imagine if like Triple H just gets in there and he's just like, what the fuck is Ciampa doing with the Miz? Let's get this thing out of here. Come on, Ciampa, let's go.
Ciampa had a promo though this week.
I mean,
he's got to be fired up.
Oh,
He has to be. Like,
rejuvenated.
people that weren't used. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't seen Apollo Crews. He's been in NXT for
Ali,
yeah, well, we don't, again,
we don't know.
we just
It's gonna
don't
be
know.
fascinating to watch.
And I say this to you, we say this every year.
Bring back the cruiserweights.
The time, right? The time between the time between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble is the time to experiment. They do it every year. Kevin Owens won the Universal title between SummerSlam and Royal Rumble. You always
I got to be a happy man. Him and Sami Zayn.
Oh, they should be. Like Big E won the title in between SummerSlam. You can experiment with different champions. What between Royal Rumble and SummerSlam is completely different. They go with what they know.
Yeah.
Which is like Roman Reigns. It's like this Brock Lesnar. They only show up in that window. This is the perfect time for them to experiment. And the one pay-per-view that I'm curious about now is Survivor Series.
Oh yeah, how do you do it?
It's like it doesn't like. From what I've heard, Hunter was a fan of the brand split, and he hated that they never did it right.
Yep.
So do you actually do a brand split? Because don't they do the draft?
Yeah.
Or the Superstar
September.
Shakeup should be coming up soon?
Yep.
There's an opportunity to hit a hard reset on a lot of things. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
That's true.
I'm honestly like, and we'll talk SummerSlam here. I'm definitely excited to see what that groundwork looks like. But that Monday after SummerSlam is like this week, whatever. That Monday after SummerSlam,
It's like a Monday after Raw.
is gonna be, because that's the first. Now that is officially, to me, that's uncharted territory.
Yeah.
This week we're still finishing up the rest of what Vince had planned.
It's like, all right, Brock.
That's where like this is where you can put the pin. Like it's like this is point A, and off we go to point B.
Let's go. Walter got to be happy as hell too. Walter looks great.
Yeah, he
As
looks
IC
great. And he's like, well,
champion.
goddamn, what have I been doing? Like, here's another question before we start getting all this SummerSlam stuff. Do they still change names moving forward?
They got to change people back.
I don't think they'll change people back because they've already trademarked those names now. They're WWE property. But
you got to be, again, I don't need him to be Pete Dunne. Can it be Butch Dunne? Like, don't change names. Can people just get their first and or last names back?
And it's also like let
Austin Theory,
Matt Riddle.
like it's okay. Just give them the part that you took away back.
I'm very curious. Like, are we going to continue to change names?
I don't see that continuing at all. I think Trips is totally fine with.
No, I don't think anyone.
I feel like they were doing that as a defense mechanism to that. That to me was a reaction to AEW.
Well, no, it was intellectual property, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
But it's like overall,
I own you.
Yeah, and when they signed NXT, which is evident as we've seen things progress, like Vince just didn't pay attention to what the fuck was going on. He just saw somebody, was like, "Who's that?" He was like, "I want him."
Yeah,
it's like, I saw these weird takes. It was like, "Oh, you guys hated Hunter's black and gold NXT, and now you're happy." No, it wasn't that. Here's what was happening. Basically, in a nutshell, you had the minor league team. That's how Vince looked at it. He had a major league team. And then somebody's really good. He's a pitcher, strikes out like 10 batters. He had an ERA of sub-2. And then Vince called. He was like, I want him. And he's like, well, he's in my starting rotation. Well, too bad. I want him. And Vince takes him and was like, you're playing first base. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? That's what was happening to Hunter. And Hunter was like, well, how can I build a team if you keep taking my best players and then misappropriating them? So now it's like, it wasn't that people didn't like it. They just didn't like the fact that you never knew who was going to disappear at any given moment.
And that they were going to be ruined.
Right. And they were going to get ruined where they went. So I think Hunter now hopefully is a safe space, was like, well, I don't have to worry about you leaving. I can figure this out now. Hey, I don't have to, like, imagine where Keith Lee would be at.
Yeah. It's going to be continuity because you're going to take the 3 years you spent building them in NXT and rolling that directly over. So, no, I don't think people keep their names. No.
I think
Going forward,
down. It's business.
Yeah, I think, again, Nick Khan is here. Nick Khan is not dumb.
Yeah.
If we build you up, Adam Cole, baby, give you the dope entrance and Adam Cole's doing the whole shit, and then you leave and you took it all with you, then we built a lot of that for you. Like, Aleister Black was super dope. Leaving and being Malachi Black takes a little of that away.
That's true. But what if you have faith in your product and those people won't leave because they're going to get the money anyways?
That's not how the business is built.
I'm just saying.
People
I'm just
come
saying.
in
But
and
why?
go.
But like, why did they leave? Right?
Yeah.
They
mean,
left.
that's true.
They left because they didn't like working there.
I think
A lot of them probably took less money.
not everyone can be the top guy in any company.
No.
And I think leaving and moving around, helps that. Cody is a perfect example, right? Like, did wonders for him. I think Moxley is another great example. He was a top guy. He was a great champion. They didn't give him, he wasn't going to be Roman.
He was playing first base and he was a pitcher.
He wasn't going to be Roman. He wasn't going to be Seth. And he was like, I could be those guys and better. He went and he became that.
Yep.
So now if he does come back, I'm not saying they will, but if he did, he comes back as that level of guy. Like Cody came back 8 steps ahead of where he was. And so it goes both ways.
Yep.
And it's just tough when you let them leave with that name and then trust that they're going to come back. And then you don't want other people ruining your intellectual property. So it comes down to like Drew McIntyre, you left and then changed your name on the Indies, blew up, and then came back. But if you went to the Indies and flamed out, then we just never bring you back.
Right.
Like they're not ruining that name that we have. So when you come back, you're just as good as you were when you left.
It's a total case by case basis, right?
Yeah, like I mean, maybe if you have stupid longevity, if you're AJ Styles and you got 30 years,
Right.
and you're just like,
Right.
you know what? That's very, very important and valuable to us. Samoa Joe, like you have 30 years of credibility.
Oh, God.
You are going to keep CM Punk. Like you have so much under there that is worth a lot to us.
Well, that's the
But if you're coming in on like a base level, we're changing this whole shit around.
Well, here's the thing, right? There aren't very many super indie talents left out there, right?
Everybody's signed.
Everybody's kind of signed. They have some allegiance somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Gresham and his whole situation in a minute.
Oh boy.
But the WWE, the other part of the reason of signing these athletes was that we're creating you. You have no identity on the indies, right? So whatever you are is what we made, and we own it. And you're going to sign that over because you don't care.
Yeah.
But if I'm if I'm AJ Styles and I come over and you want to sign AJ Styles or Cody Rhodes, which is like a legacy name, they're going to say, well, we want to own that, and Cody's going to be like, I'm good.
Yep.
And you have to make a decision if you're Nick Khan. It's like, well, is it worth allowing him? Is there some kind of split we can do on the IP rights? Like whatever it is that we sell within the company, or like when you take your name, you can't work with it somewhere else. It's complicated, but it's a lot easier with these athletes that you fucking jump the hurdles. You're Mishmash. That's your name.
Yeah. I think we're going to get less shitty names, like out of NXT probably and main roster. Like,
let's not hold our breath yet. We're gonna have to wait. See,
people complained when Prince Devitt went to Finn Balor, and then it worked.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like they let Knock keep his name, so it's Shinsuke Nakamura, which is great. But other people where they did change the name, like Tommy End was a dope name.
Yeah.
Aleister Black was really fucking cool,
Yeah.
right? So Andrade, Cien Almas worked. Now he left and went to Andrade.
You know who didn't work? Hideo Itami.
No, that was all
like,
bad.
come on, man, that's Kenta.
Again, legacy act.
Exactly.
he had too much.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he
What
had
you
too
doing?
much, and then they changed and figured out they fucked him up. But outside of that, they did pretty well for people in the naming in NXT. I think we're going to see less Butch.
oh my God.
Like what?
Yeah.
Like that would have never. Like we're not getting that.
Yeah. And like if you think like the naming damage is bad at the main level, the NXT name changes are, I mean, they're here to stay because they literally changed everybody's name.
Yeah.
Like so.
Carmelo Hayes is a dope name. Like if they let you, if for some reason you picked a dope name out of the hat, you're lucky as hell.
I mean, maybe just go ahead and just be transparent with us and just change Braun Breaker to Steiner. Just do it.
Please, God.
For all my
Please, God.
freaks out there.
He wore the Steiner.
He does it every time. He wears a singlet. Like they make reference
my
to Rick
God.
Steiner. It was like, and it's funny. I interviewed Braun Breaker, who was a terrible interviewer, by the way, because he's brand new to this. He's still learning. But he was like, yeah, I want to make my own identity. And I was like, we all know you're the Steiner kid, right? Like, we
He
can't
just
get
wore
past
the
that.
Stars and Stripes.
Oh no, Steiner has a mic.
It's
It
like,
still applies.
that's a whole nother story. Anyway,
Uncharted waters, though. Uncharted.
we've
Yes.
talked a lot about Vince. What?
Let's hit a quick break
Yes.
then. Come back. Preview SummerSlam. I mean, fuck it. Whatever predictions we thought, now we just got to rip them up because like it's going to be crazy. So we're going to talk about SummerSlam
I'm excited.
real quick and then finish all of this up with AEW and ROH. All right, everyone, we are back just that quick. Time to actually talk about the card that is happening this weekend. WWE SummerSlam, it feels weird.
They didn't just stop wrestling. They just like wrestling is over now.
Well, listen,
right? It's it. AEW also shut down. It's just like it's over.
SummerSlam's in July. We just had Money in the Bank. It's like Vince knew the end was coming. And he was like, yo, I need to get all my shit in. Like, but every big pay-per-view.
SummerSlam in July.
That's it. Yep. Royal Rumble, August. Like, he just start booking shit on the fly. Like, he just knew. Like, nah, I gotta lock all this in. So, no, we have SummerSlam, end of July. A lot of matches on this card. We have 9. Don't know what the hell's on a pre-show. Didn't know half of these existed. So we're going to go down and talk about all these matches. Right. Where do we start?
Probably going to put Madcap Moss or something on the pre-show.
Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin.
I actually think this is going to be a fun match.
Oh, yeah.
Pat McAfee's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee's really good.
He had a good promo on Friday.
Yeah.
You know, Happy Corbin, I just wish he turned to, you know, Desperate Corbin again.
That was the most fun Corbin.
That was the most. But McAfee's going over here. I think McAfee goes over.
No, Corbin needs this.
Corbin needs it.
McAfee has to eat the end of days. Like, no, Corbin's going over.
You're picking Corbin. I'm picking McAfee.
Boy, are we already starting here? Am I already gonna
tiebreaker?
It's it's Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin. I shouldn't really think this hard about like what's going on here, but immediately my brain went, well, Vince isn't there now, so now who goes over? And it's like Vince there, Pat easily goes over, right? Like
you would think.
That's what I would think. I still would pick Pat McAfee because Pat is so over with the crowd. I mean. Yeah. We were there at Money in the Bank when just random Pat chants would just start during the middle of whoever. It didn't matter who was in the ring.
Showed up at UFC with a neck brace.
Showed up at UFC with a neck brace.
Fabe lives.
Hey, Fabe. Boy, I don't. You want to talk about guys? I don't know. I don't know how the Vince McMahon news affects Happy Corbin. I have no idea.
Oh, he was a Trips guy before he was a Vince guy.
I just wonder if that means does like he go back to being like.
The big bad wolf?
Yeah.
He can't be a bald wolf.
He can't.
But yeah.
Or could you? Who knows?
He could be the Baron again. Like, can we give him back his normal name? Baron Corbin.
I'd probably stay as Happy Corbin for a while.
God, no.
For a minute.
Take it away. Make him just
unless no, Vince from Gorilla 2. That's Vince from Gorilla 2.
Yeah, Vince from Gorilla 2 would be like, let's just name him Happy.
Yeah, that's a Vince move. Just Happy.
Son of a bitch. But I'm picking McAfee because I still think WWE wants headlines and they want to highlight. McAfee will probably do some wild moonsault or jump off of something. So I'll pick McAfee to go over. It doesn't matter either way. McAfee's a made guy.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he needs it. That's why he loses. Bobby Lashley versus Theory.
Come on, man. Theory's just never winning until I don't even know if he'll win when he cashes in. But he's not winning this.
This is gonna be a bad night for Theory.
Theory wins this match.
How? He gets the U.S. title back?
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, and what I'm gonna predict later, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, Theory's gonna win the United States Championship.
All right. No, I'm gonna stick with Lashley.
Through weird, heelish ways. Maybe some more baby oil.
I think.
Oh God.
We see Roman send Paul Heyman to help him. I think
that's a wild one.
Yeah, that's at the end of Raw, or the first segment. They super kick the shit out of Theory, and Roman like leans the briefcase down on his chest. He's like, "Think about it. On Friday, do the right thing." And he said, "When SummerSlam comes, do the right thing." I think they say, "We give you this belt. Leave me the fuck alone." Like we got an agreement here. I think he wins.
Yeah, I think if there was going to be any interference, it'd be to cost Theory the match, so he can't win the title.
Interesting. No, then you're just pissing him off. Cash in more likely.
Yeah, but do you think right now that Brock or Roman are worried about Theory cashing in?
No.
In storyline, they're like, let that little bitch cash in. We're gonna fuck him up. Like that's the whole angle right now. So I just think Lashley's gonna retain one way or the other. It might be DQ, whatever it is. But I don't necessarily see.
I'm all in for Theory pinning Brock and Brock losing his shit and never coming back. You punch Trips in the face through the curtain.
Well, he wouldn't eat the pin, first of all. We'd have
Roman ain't.
No. I'm just saying, if they was like
he's eating the pin by hook or by crook in this match, by the way.
Who? Brock?
Yeah.
Well, there's no pin to eat. It's a last man standing match.
But theory, Brock is that guy, even though people say, Brock do the job. If they were like, oh yeah, Brock, you're going to win and then you're going to lose the theory, Brock does what he wants. I've heard way too many stories about matches happening and people saying, well, this is what was supposed to happen. Then Brock showed up and was like, I don't give a fuck what you're doing. He just started throwing people around. He's that guy. But Vince always gave him that reign, and that will never change. Like Hunter was like, theory's going over. And Brock was like, not tonight, boy. And just throw him in the crowd or some shit and leave and be like, oh, you're stuck with whatever creator. Like Brock would be the one to leave with the titles like CM Punk. And take him to Vince.
Yeah, it'd be like, yo, you come to my farm and get these. It's like, fuck. You're like, man, you can have.
Can't even whip him in
on
real
Monday,
life.
the Winged Eagle returns because Brock just took the other belts and went home, and Trips ain't going.
There'd be a picture with him and Vince holding the belt. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
And Trips would be like, we have a new title. It's just because, fuck it. No one's going to get the belts from that, man.
It ain't worth it.
Theory, I think, wins this. Do have an auxiliary take if Theory does lose and cash it. But we'll get to that in a second. Usos versus Street Profits.
Man.
With Jeff Jarrett.
This is dumb. Jeff Jarrett being the it makes absolutely no sense.
No, I don't know why.
Like they were like,
well, it's because Nashville.
Yeah, so what? Right? Like,
you know what I want?
What? Want Ric Flair to show up?
No. Give Jeff the guitar.
No, of course he is. There's a guitar spot.
He's got to be.
I need him to play himself to the ring.
Oh, I was talking about crushing somebody in the head with a guitar.
I need Jeff Jarrett to sing. That's it. We're in Nashville. Let him do a 3-minute acoustic like Coale.
Yeah.
Ooh, Coale, can you learn the song and perform it this week? We'll put it at the end of the pod, or do like YouTube exclusive.
There you go. No, I've been watching quite a bit of Jeff Jarrett lately. On really randomly. And back in WCW, he used to just be calling everybody slap nuts, and yes. I just want him to just be calling people slap nuts during the match.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
bring it all back.
This is, dog, I don't care what y'all say. This is so stupid.
Yeah, no, it's dumb.
Because I can't figure out like what's the logic of Jeff.
What's he doing here?
Because they were like, oh well, Montez Ford's shoulder was up at Money in the Bank, and then they ran that shit back with the Usos. Oh, the shoulders. Who can call it down the middle? Jeff Jarrett. No, he can't.
No, he's completely biased.
You literally picked like one of the most unreliable people. Like when has anyone ever gone like that? Jeff Jarrett, that guy is an honest dude.
Right down the middle.
He's gonna call it right down. It's not like a John fucking Cena, right? It's not like, what are we doing here?
There are no baby faces available in the history of the company. We're going to Jeff Jarrett.
Right, we're going to get... But
Jeff Jarrett has never swerved anyone, ever.
So the fascinating thing about all this, and I think I mentioned this with you, Kel, last week, is Jeff Jarrett showing up when he has, as Vince was gone. Like, Jarrett ran TNA.
Yep.
You think this was by accident that Jarrett is now just showing, like, he signed with the company? Like, he's still doing Ric Flair shit, but...
Yeah.
What are the odds that Vince shows up to that?
Oh, I'd pop. He just bought a ticket.
Yeah, and Vince just shows up. Yeah.
Front row.
He's like, you're gonna die in the ring, I'll die watching you. It's like it's just gonna go together.
Oh, Rick would fucking cry and hug Vince. It'd be like the crazy.
Right. They just roll out a coffin and put them both in it for the match. But I can't see the Usos losing this match. I need the Street Profits to win. I just can't see the Usos losing right now.
It's a tough act to follow, too, because that match at Money in the Bank slapped.
Yes, it did.
That match was by far and away match of the night.
We're splitting the belts.
How?
I'm telling you, Usos are losing. We're doing a hard reset on everything. If Trips is in, you hard reset on everything. Usos lose the belts. Jeff Jarrett, by guitar, hit on one of the slap nuts.
A babyface Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah.
Ew.
Joke on that. Slap nuts.
Jeff Jarrett in the history of in the history of pro wrestling, Jeff Jarrett has never been a good babyface.
No, but you'll need him for one night in Nashville. Bring on the guitar.
You know what I initially thought when they first booked this match? I was like, we're getting closer to splitting the Street Profits.
Oh, I thought so, but I don't think so yet.
I don't know if they'll do it now.
No.
But I feel like they're getting closer with Montez's look and the way there was like some little friction with those two.
But I think
it could still happen.
I think now we're going to keep them together. Because one thing, you can say what you want. One thing about Trips is he likes tag team wrestling. And you need tag teams to build a tag team division around.
It's a rock and a hard place, though.
Yeah.
But this particular situation is a rock and a hard place because Montez Ford is an
he's
undeniable star.
He's ready.
There's
Yeah.
But I think there's better
Dawkins
ways
is great
now.
too.
Dawkins
Yeah.
is great, but Dawkins he's in a tough spot if he loses.
I think there's better ways to build them now that you have cohesive, creative.
At least you hope so.
Yeah, to split them and then make Montez a star in that.
So you got the Profits going over. I want to see the Profits win. I'm going to pick the Usos though because it just doesn't feel like the Bloodline's time is up yet. Could be.
I think the Usos are winning. You know what I was just thinking as far as the Street Profits go. Like if Montez Ford is going to be more challenging in like the main title picture, throw Dawkins over to Gunther. I think that could be really fun.
No, I think
Like
Dawkins,
have two big boys duking it out. You know what that means?
Dawkins could find a nice role on the mid card.
Slapping me.
Yeah, he just gotta find his character on his own. You know, like what is your, because Montez has his character.
Oh,
Yes.
Tag team, like Dawkins, it's just like what is your thing? You know?
Why like a worker's belt might be good for him.
Yeah, you know.
Bold prediction. Montez Ford wins Money in the Bank next year.
Also, Trips bring
a year early prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if I got one request for Triple H, bring prominence back to those goddamn titles, please. Intercontinental title, United States, make them matter.
Oh, I mean,
make them matter.
Listen, I know
it's an uphill battle, but make them matter.
I know he's 8-time, 9-time champion Triple H. That IC title still his baby, so he better do right by the IC title. That's the only reason he is where he is. He lived with that title.
I mean, everybody, The Rock had it.
Everybody, like he's gonna make that count. Again, you can only do so much at the main title picture because you got to put butts in seats.
Yeah,
it's not NXT. It's a lot different. You got to make it feel grand still at the top.
Yeah,
but you do a shitload under that.
But at least off to like he has a good starting place with Gunther, who by the way is not on this card.
North American title in NXT was great. Like Johnny Gargano had it. Like all the Ricochet. Like there was good Keith Lee. Like big name people. It felt big. Had that.
Yeah,
I think he'll be all right on the mid card.
Indeed,
going forward. Let's see. Making sure I don't skip anything. Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey.
This is an interesting one.
We've talked about this. We talked about this with the Cheap Heat. I'm still like, you haven't made me believe that Liv could beat Ronda.
The hell was Ronda doing on Raw?
I don't know. I don't know what Ronda's doing anywhere. Right? Like the promos are still bad, even though this past one on Raw wasn't on SmackDown wasn't as bad, but still bad. And it's like, I'll shake your hand when you win. And I'm like,
her in-ring spot was just ugly this week.
It's weird because I feel like they want to put Liv over, but I'm going to have a hard time going, yeah, that makes sense. Liv's got to retain the title.
Yeah.
And God damn, if they don't turn Ronda heel,
2 roll-ups again.
This will be where we can tell whether Triple H has influence or not. If Ronda turns heel at SummerSlam, we're going to be like, all right, the decision was made. And somebody had to talk to her. I'm going to go with Liv more.
I likes being a heel, by the way.
I don't know. We haven't had a chance to find out.
Oh, that first run? Loved when she turned heel.
But she never really, she was a tweener.
No. Well, I guess they put Charlotte in it.
Yeah.
She was definitely a heel.
But Liv's going. You can't take the title off of Liv.
No, Liv got it.
They love her.
There's a lot of moving parts for these two women's matches. And I don't know where they're going, where they could fall into. So immediately while you were talking about that, the first name that came to mind as far as I do believe Liv needs to win. How is she going to win? It's not going to be clean. It can't be, right? They haven't established that, right? Who are people that can come in? The first name that came to mind, as far as being a Triple H person, Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler could pick this as like a move to like come in and like Ronda's going to win and Shayna just starts beating the shit out of her. So that's one. There's another wild card though that I don't know which match she's going to factor into. But Bayley's coming back.
Oh, I think
Bayley's coming back in Nashville.
Pop. Yeah.
There's going to be a Bayley pop. If she's still ding dong hello heel Bayley.
You see her when I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
When she tweets about the Forbidden Door.
Oh,
she saw Britt Baker tweet about it. I was like,
yeah.
Well, Bayley walked through the Forbidden Door and she's like, ding dong. And I was like, Bayley's great.
Bayley's Twitter is just, it is top notch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It is top notch. No, not at all. I don't know where Bayley fits in, whether it's because Bailey did have a storyline with Bianca before she got hurt.
That's where she fits.
So I feel like that's more logical. So I'm gonna say Liv Morgan wins with a little assistance, or it's a DQ. Could be
I like that.
There was the one I was talking.
This is the only match on the card that could finish in a no finish.
Real quick, it was not even a non-finish. It is Ronda keeps the ankle lock on too long while Liv has the ropes or some shit like that, and she gets DQ'd out of aggression.
There you go.
And then that's
Shayna maybe comes and saves the day.
Could be, or Shayna
or not.
Look, Shayna and Ronda just need to be a team. The right people. That's what they need.
If only they had titles for that.
I know. What happened to them? And then Cora Jade threw him away.
Has anyone checked your hey, ladies and gentlemen, check your local dumpster. You may have tag team titles. They might be NXT. They might be the women's ones on the main roster. Please check your dumpsters and call this toll-free number.
It's just reminding me
on the screen.
You think Trips is just sitting at the big ass desk with the T-Rex head behind him? Just like fucking methodically, just like Mr. Burnsing it.
I wouldn't even want that.
So happy.
There's definitely an episode of like something where like it's like getting the boss's office. Like who gets the boss's office? I don't know. Probably Steph.
Trips just.
There's too many. There's too much.
Yeah, there's too much dirt in this.
Yeah, that's got to get a deep clean. Deep clean.
Yeah.
Anyways,
all right. So we have Liv. Everyone has her retaining. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch.
Dog,
Bianca's winning. You're righting the wrongs of.
All right, y'all. We can't.
I wish it was 8 seconds though.
We can't do the. We cannot walk out again. Can't do it again. Bianca's got to win.
You'd be damn surprised if she does. If Becky wins again.
No,
we walk in protest.
There is no way Bianca's losing this match.
Like, she can't.
No, she just can't. Like everybody knows. Everybody in that company knows. It's just like, no, Vince panic booked Becky to go over.
Yep.
And there's no, like, now that we're running it back, which is strange because then Rhea Ripley shows up on Raw.
Right.
In the Mysterio angle. And it's just like, that's the match everybody wants to see. But I'm fine with this because about 3 years ago, I was like, I'm not sure about Becky Lynch's in-ring. Her in-ring since she's returned.
Been a lot better.
Has been a lot. It has been great, actually.
Yeah.
And her character work has been phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So it's like, her and Seth are the same person. They can lose and they're just fine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's and this has got to be like the last time that these two run into each other because again, this was a WrestleMania match, still currently in my mind, women's match of the year.
And it's a great way if you're gonna have a superstar,
Bailey,
shake up to get them the hell away from you.
Yeah. Ding dong.
But Bailey, if Bailey was to show up here after this and was like, "We got unfinished business," I'd be like, "All right, cool.
Just attack her, beat her up."
Yeah,
Trips love attacks.
I'm very curious.
That's one thing. That's very NXT-ish. Someone will win and then get the shit beat out of them.
Yeah.
Always a run-in.
Yes, but yeah, we all are agreeing here. Bianca's going over.
Yeah, Bianca's going.
Logan Paul versus The Miz.
This is very contingent on where they see Logan Paul in their immediate future, right? Logan's new to this business. And he's not Pat McAfee athletic, right?
Not unathletic.
He's not unathletic. But obviously...
No, he's not NFL.
Right. And it's like, yeah, he could beat The Miz, but then what do you do with him? And I feel like Miz is in this weird spot now where he was once upon a time was the reality guy that everybody had to work with and teach him how to wrestle. But now Miz is that guy who's a solid hand.
Yep.
So Miz could lose to Logan Paul and be like, let's keep this program going. So because it's on-the-job training, OJT, right? I feel like whatever happens, this feud's not over. I can't see Logan Paul moving on to something else because I feel like he's still got to learn. He hasn't done enough. So I'm going to say if Logan Paul wins, Miz hits him with them giant steel testicles. And they keep this thing going.
Balls.
Yeah. Okay.
No, go ahead, Kel. Sorry.
I'll save mine for later.
Okay. You got some? Okay. I'm just going to simply say, I agree with you. I think program needs to extend because like Logan Paul's already at the final boss.
Yeah, it's
right. Like
soon.
Logan Paul is the Miz. Straight up. Like this is like, there's like nowhere for him to go past the Miz.
Yeah.
So the Miz is the final boss. So like, if you have him beat the Miz here now,
where do you go?
Who else? Like, what else are you going to do with him? Like, he needs to be an extended program here with the Miz. So I say Yeah, Miz wins or shenanigans.
All right. I think it continues. I agree with both of you. Logan Paul wins. Ciampa turns on the Miz.
Babyface Ciampa?
Super heel Ciampa. Logan Paul turns heel because Logan Paul is not a babyface.
Ooh, this is
He
complicated.
planted Ciampa all along.
You have these really elaborate.
That's it. It's not that elaborate. He planted Ciampa all along. And Ciampa's been working for him.
You know how why
Ciampa's not a babyface.
You know why this match is a mistake?
Why?
Because there's 3 heels in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they act like Logan Paul isn't a heel. No,
Right.
the future of Logan Paul in this company or anywhere he is as a heel.
You're absolutely right. But do you turn Miz babyface
Yes,
again?
yes.
It never works.
No, but he's like the big show. You could turn him babyface, you could turn him heel. Like for the sake of this program going forward, double turn.
I
Give it
can't.
to me.
Miz is babyface. I hate.
Listen, he's gonna be babyface. They got Miz and Mrs. season finale next week. I wish they paid me for that
I
promo.
thought they had the season.
It's like a 2-hour season finale.
Oh,
or something.
wow.
I saw the commercial
Which
for it
is
yesterday
great.
when I was watching Raw.
This is the crazy thing about it. Miz
Or
is
maybe
a
it's this week.
Miz is a heel, but that show works.
That show's amazing.
With him being a heel, it's like, oh, he's endearing, but we still want him as a heel.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's teaching Maurice how to wrestle, and it's so cute and everything. Turn him face.
no, I don't want to see.
I need heel.
They
Logan
they
Paul.
miscast this match, just like they've miscast Ronda Rousey. They miscast this match because they keep trotting Logan out as a
Again,
face.
you got to fix it.
Yeah, I don't even.
And
I don't know.
Ciampa, if there's one thing about Triple H and one thing about Ciampa, motherfucker knows that Ciampa is sinister.
I just don't know.
He
if,
knows who Ciampa is.
Like if Ciampa attacks the Miz, I think the crowd's gonna be like, "What? Wait, what? Who do we cheer?" This is a Nashville crowd. It's not a New York
Logan
crowd.
and Ciampa dap it up.
The crowd's still
We've
like,
been in it all along.
yeah, but the crowd's still like,
So when
was
Ciampa
Ciampa all
turns and then Johnny Gargano shows up. What? Who said that?
Let's do it.
Who said that?
Heel
Anyone?
DIY.
I didn't say anything.
Let's get
I don't know
crazy.
I don't
Too
know. I don't know what you guys are talking
Oh
about.
my God, Logan Paul managing a heel DIY to the moon.
that's too much.
Let's do it.
That's too much.
Let's do it. Oh my God, now I'm so happy about that. The Mysterios versus the Judgment Day.
This I do not care about. this.
Mysterios just won and got their ass whooped though.
Yeah, but
That was a funny segment.
I really
Judgment Day is winning.
okay. Edge is coming back. Can we stop teasing this now? Everybody knows this Edge.
Yeah.
And the
Beats the shit
Judgment.
out of all the Judgment Day
Yes.
for beating the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I just hope Edge got his like hair extensions or something. He cut his hair to be in this new faction that
Yo.
he made, and then they all turned on him.
How
What?
fast does hair grow? You would know this more than us.
This is taking a long time.
Okay.
This is taking a long time. He's gonna need something.
I need whenever Edge leaves this company, or whenever he retires again for good, I really need to hear about the story behind this. Because Edge came back to this company. They started an angle at WrestleMania. They didn't end an angle. They started Judgment Day at WrestleMania. It
Yep.
was done in 4 weeks. I want to hear because it feels like, could be totally wrong here. Feels like Vince came to Edge with something. Edge was like, I don't want to do that. You're out of your own your own group, bud. And it's like, all right, pal. And then whatever happened, he was like, well, I got to come back again. Because it feels weird to reinvent Edge already because you just reinvented him. You gave him heel music.
Yeah.
You gave him the entrance. Like, what are we doing? He's got to come back at SummerSlam.
And they
He
just
has
gave that to Finn. They're like, yo, Finn, hold this.
Yeah, it's like this is so this Judgment Day is a disaster.
Yes.
They blew this. We all looked at this when it happened. I was like, I hate that they started it here. I wish it was started on Raw. But when they added Rhea Ripley, and I was like, oh, this faction is perfect for
Looks
Edge.
good.
And then they blew it up. And I see Finn in it, and I was like, I don't care. And now the Mysterios, look, how about can Dominic turn on Ray now?
It's time.
Oh man, he had a moment. He had a moment on Raw.
Like that
He
whole
could've-
time, he's listening to his dad talk, and then he brings up Eddie Guerrero, and I was like,
That's
hit him!
it.
Get him!
Hit him.
And that also
Poppy.
that also would have been just the perfect Rey Mysterio tribute. Because here's the deal. When I was watching it, like I thought the whole time, I was like, wow, like they're just gonna let like Rey like have a good moment. He's not gonna get tossed around like a rag doll, not put in a stretcher and tossed against the ring post.
Lose his
He's
eye.
not gonna lose his eye. He's not gonna get his mask ripped
I
off.
forgot
He's
that
not gonna get tossed off of WWE HQ. Like this man has been, we've talked about it on many an occasion on this podcast. This man has been through the ringer. So it was nice for him to actually have like a moment of peace. And then he got his ass kicked backstage. But point being,
They gave him his moment.
and also like you could hear the entire crowd and internet just like cringe internally when like Ray was like, Dom, I know that when I retire, you're going to carry on the Mysterio legacy.
Like, he's not ready.
No, I'm not sure if he ever be ready.
Yeah, we don't know. Ray,
Nah.
Ray,
You know, it was
Ray,
funny-
you got 20 more years?
It was,
NXT, NXT.
it was
Like,
funny
please
seeing
send that
Aaliyah
kid
show up, and I was like, wait, weren't you with Buddy Murphy last time we saw you?
down.
Yeah, I think he actually tweeted something about that too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Good
They're
for
going to
him.
fight over his custody. Him and Rhea Ripley. It was the tweet. And someone
I'm
did
your
a side by
Poppy.
side.
Incredible.
So it's incredible.
And then Rhea Ripley was wearing an I'm Your Poppy shirt too.
Yep.
The
Oh,
very
man. Long-term
that-
booking.
You know, the long-term booking. I mean, that segment, you know, they've at least salvaged some entertainment out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But this match needs to end quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, give me Dominic turning and Judgment Day winning. And I don't even know
Edge-
if
Edge-
comes back
Edge
or whatever.
returns.
God,
I
Edge
don't
just
know.
got to come back, man.
I bring him back into something more meaningful.
Yes.
And then Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar main event.
You missed one match
Oh, which
really quickly. Riddle.
Oh,
versus
Riddle.
Riddle and
with
Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins.
Man, this match better slap.
This better be match of the night.
Riddle's nuts, by the way.
Let them wrestle.
Like when because you guys had run over to UFC by that point and they did the Money in the Bank, all of the crazy ass spots, all Riddle. All Riddle just throwing himself off of like the top of ladders through table, top of ladders to everybody in the ring. That dude's a crazy. He's fucking
Listen,
crazy.
He got punched in the face for a living for quite some time.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of medicinals.
Like Matt, yeah, no, just hey, you know what? Here you go. Here's the Triple H era. You know,
Yeah.
like he beats
Like-
Rollins. He's like, you call me Matt.
Yeah, give me Riddle to win though. Seth doesn't need to win. This would be a good spot for Seth to win because God, he
Seth's lost a lot.
He has.
ton. I mean, sooner or later he does have to win.
I think he wins here.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to cool down Riddle?
This feud might not be over either.
Ugh.
These two could actually do well with like interesting stipulations and cages and all that stuff.
Okay.
I feel like I could watch these two work for a while because it didn't feel like this feud has really built any momentum yet. It's a
No.
really good feud on paper, and we're all looking at it like this could be great. And now we're here at SummerSlam. Was like I don't necessarily.
They just
want to
threw
see
the
this.
feud together.
Yeah, it's like let's stretch this thing out. And in order to do that, I think the best thing to do is have Rollins go over.
Yeah, they really fucked up not turning Randy Orton.
Yeah,
And
well
then he
now
got
it's-
hurt. Like they waited too long.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is
Should have been a
He'll
main
come
event.
back.
you can tell now that Orton's out for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not even referencing him on TV anymore.
No.
Whatever they found out, they were just like, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna have to split Riddle. They don't even talk about RK Bro anymore.
Well,
No.
you know,
So that hurts.
Yeah.
Hurts Riddle.
yeah. Winner, Rollins. Rollins wins.
It's tremendous too.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys. I'm stick with Riddle for contrarian sake.
I just want Riddle to just be crazy.
Then we have Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar.
In the words of Zaza Pachulia.
Last man standing.
Game 7!
God, again. So wait, before we predict this match, will it be good?
What's your different? Like,
You know,
like
I hate
seven, like
I
seven
hate-
star.
I hate last man standing matches. I hate them.
You do hate them
'Cause
because
the
they're
idea of, like-
constantly asking.
Yeah. Well, they're not
Oh
asking.
no, that's
they,
I quit.
they go
matches.
run over to him. Was like 1, 2.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, he just took a DDT. Like, you'll be fine. He's gonna get up.
Yeah.
And you gotta stop the action to do that count. And with two guys like this, when do you start the count? Because it can take a lot of punishment.
It's gonna be a lot of shenanigans.
From who?
Usos.
Oh, God,
Sami
Brock,
Zayn.
Oh, Sammy might.
Brock is in this very interesting position.
Brock ain't winning.
No, he was never gonna win.
'Cause-
Like, he was always
Okay.
gonna do the honors, right? And he was gonna be fine with that because he probably got paid a fat bag. He probably got paid a fat bag to show up to SmackDown. He's got to lose because, dude, there's no way Roman's losing this thing. At this point, it feels like until WrestleMania. He's
What do you
not.
think? You gotta split these belts up somehow.
I don't know. Either you split them or you just have one champion that flows between brands.
I mean, that's what they have now.
But that's what they should. That's what they should always have. It's just that Roman disappeared for like 2 months and they were just doing nothing. Like, I'm totally fine with Roman truly unifying these titles and just saying I'm the champ. And then, You stay on your show, and the best guys can fight me. That's what I'd like to see. But this match is like, I feel like they've booked this, obviously because Cody was hurt.
Yeah.
They were like, Brock, here's several $1 million, more money. You can buy more pigs and rifles and bazookas and whatever you do.
Whatever he does.
And Brock was like, cool. And at some point, they were like, the WrestleMania match sucked, right? We got to fix that.
Did it suck?
It sucked.
Oh, interesting.
Remember how it ended abruptly?
Oh, it did.
But also, I believe Roman's shoulder got like messed up.
Yeah, but it's like it wasn't a good match, right? For that big of a match again, it wasn't that good. So now you have the stipulation. Roman wins. I'm just trying to figure out what is the method that they're going to keep Brock down. He's not going to be knocked out.
No, you got to like pin him with something.
Yeah, they use the forklift.
Yeah, something like that.
Or you do
bury him under something in the
Tables,
back.
yeah.
No, he'll get up from tables.
Yeah.
You have to throw a whole ass car on Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Something like that. Drive over.
Yeah, like there's got to be some kind of wild. Because remember when Roman fought Kevin Owens and they handcuffed him. They tried everything with Kevin Owens. You got to do more for Brock. Like Roman's not going to.
That was a good ass match.
It
That was a good match.
Yeah.
Other than the ending.
Yeah. Kevin Owens is tremendous.
He's fantastic. That's why when people say like you hate WWE, no, I love the talent there. Like Kevin Owens is spectacular.
No,
did they just give up on Ezekiel? By the way,
no, it was just one Raw, right? He was.
Well, he like everything was supposed to like happen with Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens got hurt. And now Vince McMahon's gone. So yeah, probably. Yeah.
Ultimate Ezekiel.
Hey, at least we got them both on screen together. So
sure, which is fun.
good for the brothers.
But
that are definitely two people.
So yes, prediction: Roman's going over. I don't think Theory's cashing in unless they're already tired of it and just want to get the briefcase off of him. I think Theory should hang on this thing for a while.
He should. It'd be the best for him. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, how do you get him to beat any one of these guys? Because an unsuccessful cash-in is just like the worst shit you can have. It never ends up well. Like, that shit sucks. Theory's too good for that, to have an unsuccessful cash-in. So unless he holds it, shout out to, I forgot who it was on Twitter. It's like, yo, they want to see him hold it to the day before next year's Money in the Bank. Just hold it the longest ever and cash in on like the SmackDown before next year's Money in the Bank. I was like, yo, that'd be hilarious. Especially if a guy like Cody has it or something, just cash in. You got one more day and they know it's coming, but they don't know where. That's funny. Good new angle. But I do think, again, for a hard reset, because this is such a weird spot for Vince to leave and Trips to come in and like, fuck. Like, none of this was his idea. So if you want a hard reset, he could win this. And understand Brock doesn't want to take a pin from the young kid. Somebody going to have to take a pin from this kid. Because if you have a last man standing match and for some reason you count, and what if neither of them gets up?
Or what if you cash in while they're both down?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if they are both pinned under something and Theory runs in, cashes in, and just has like Roman's arms up, like outside of whatever they're pinned on, and just like throws one arm over him.
All right, so let's workshop this, right? Roman does a spear off the ramp through some tables, electricity, all the sparks.
Yeah,
WWE does that gaga shit, and everything explodes.
Like that.
And then Theory can jump in and be like, while he's counting, it's like, nope, stop the count, and pins him, and then he runs. That could happen.
Yeah.
Here's what I think is better, though, in my opinion. I think it could get very silly, but Theory will never cash in if one of those two are champions, but he will always tease it. I think for the next 9 months, whenever he sees them vulnerable, he runs out and he's like, they get up, he's like, never mind. And he just runs back and holds the briefcase for God until somebody loses the title. And he's like, all right, cool, now I can cash in. I want him to hold it. I think he could potentially, he's going to threaten somewhere in this match. He's going to have to threaten.
Yeah, I mean, that's the game.
I just don't know if he actually hands the brief because you got to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll actually
They got to ring the bell.
But either way, are you picking Roman to beat Brock?
Yeah, Brock's not winning this.
Okay. But you're picking...
He just walked... If he was winning it, for any reason, allegedly walking out last week, ended that shit. Because you're a flight risk now.
Well, don't let the WWE marks on Twitter... Dirk Sheets got worked. Brock Lesnar was always...
Listen, Even if you are angry,
They got a lot to say.
if you are a little angsty, Trips is not giving you the belt.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's his belt now to give.
it's Stephanie's belt. But
That's,
so we don't know. But you're picking Roman. I'm picking Roman. Are you saying Theory's cashing in?
no, I think Theory wins earlier in the night, and Roman leaves with both of those belts. You got to split those somewhere else.
All right, cool.
You guys know I like to get wacky with this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I got something wacky for you.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Gargano.
Johnny Gargano comes down.
Theory cashes in on Bianca. What?
So, okay. All right. Hang with me, America, because I've just thought of this on the spot. This is not like the Cody Rhodes thing where I spent some time thinking about this. I even workshopped it with Dre, and Dre was like, wow, it was a pretty good idea. And immediately I was like, wow, I feel pretty smart. This one, I'm going to sound really dumb, guys, but here we go. All right. Match is going on. And as we know, as we've discussed, as we watched WrestleMania, how do you protect a finisher? Well, you can do it one of two. You can do it one of two ways. You either do the Kenny Omega thing and just nobody ever kicks out of your finisher ever, and you protect the shit out of it, or you protect him by only performing finishing maneuvers.
Match.
Because one of them's got to be enough, but they're just both so strong. So we're going to be exchanging finishers here for a good 15 minutes or so. Until we start doing like shenanigan shit. Yeah. Needless to say, we're going to get to a point. They're going to do some crazy high spot and land on some tables, land on something. They're going to be both down. And the ref is going to count to 10. And neither of them is going to be getting up. They're both going to be counted out.
Oh, God.
To which maybe Triple H, some authority figure comes out and decides, okay, the only fair result of this is that we split the belts. And they give one belt to Brock and they give one belt to Roman. But one of them stays down. I don't know who. I haven't thought this out this far. But one of them stays down and Theory cashes in. And Theory wins one of the belts. They split the belts up here and Theory takes one of them. Book it. Book it.
I know that
Book
shit
it, you
is crazy.
cowards.
I know it's crazy because I fucking love it. like that's how that's like the hottest of hot takes because I love that take. Like if I don't see that
Come
on Saturday, I'm pissed.
Hey, Nick, Stephanie, I'm taking phone calls.
Not even Trip.
I'm open.
He's going above Trips.
I'm open for freelance work. So you just call me. Thanks.
I love that. Do the job, Brock.
Dre, what are your thoughts?
Do the job, Brock.
Do the job, Brock.
It's what's best for business.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's all I got.
All right, so that's
I love it. No, that sounds amazing. Cool. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So book that as not absolutely happening. But if it does,
You knew it.
then all you
before
WWE people going at me on Twitter, I got something for you right here.
everyone.
right here, brother.
Why did you have beef on Twitter?
Well, that's because of our next segment coming up, which I'll definitely explain more there as we talk about Ring of Honor and AEW.
All right. Real quick short break because we got like 10, 15 minutes
Yes.
left. When we come back, we're going to talk about your beef. And real quick, talk about Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. Don't go anywhere. Be right back after this. All right, everyone, we are back. Quick 10, 15 minutes to wrap this up. We are talking Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor that happened last Saturday night. Before we dive into the card and some of the things that happened, producer Coale, baby, you went wrestling viral.
Do we want to get into that now, or do we want to wait till we get to that match that I provided? You want to get to it now?
Right to meow. We are starting off with this. Why'd you piss off the wrestling?
Yeah,
world?
so I was just having a good time watching the show.
You pissed off the
enjoying it.
WWE people.
I pissed off the WWE
Sure.
people, and it's something that we've actually referenced on this show before.
Yes, we have.
So it was during the Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal match, which, by the way, was a very good match.
Very good.
We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I was just happy to see Joe performing, and I sent a tweet out with the appropriate amount of not context, in which I didn't necessarily call anybody out. I didn't necessarily say good or bad to one. I didn't distinguish enough. I didn't create battle lines myself, right? And I tweeted out a picture of Joe in the poncho at WrestleMania. and said, just a reminder, like, this was Joe just over a year ago. And in my mind, and in my heart, I was just going like, he's come away and now he's back to doing what he loves. Cause like at that point, you could argue that was definitely a low point in Samoa Joe's career. Like he was dealing with a lot of injuries. He came back, he got hurt, he got COVID, he got the title strip. And yes, people were quick to remind me, oh, he won the NXT title. Yeah, I get it. So, I've decided, I could have replied to everybody individually, but I figured it would be nicer to reply to everybody in this nice $6 million studio that we have here that I've run for over a year. So, people out there, your tribalism has, just ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Okay. Just think about this. Is WWE paying you? No. So why are you torturing people with, I was called some very creative things over the weekend. It was called some very creative things. Why? What are you doing? Like, just look in a mirror and just go like, ask yourself, why is a picture of a man in a poncho making me this upset? And really reevaluate what's going on in your life, because there's gotta be some things here that you gotta figure out. Okay. So that's all I want to say is I'm concerned for you all. Okay. I was just trying to enjoy some wrestling. Let me enjoy wrestling in peace.
Never.
No. And real quick, when people were talking about, well, Joe was commentating at WrestleMania. Well, it's not like he didn't get a payday for it because you don't get paydays anymore. 2, it's like telling me, you're bringing water to the bench at the NBA Finals. Would you rather play? Of course I'd rather play. That's what I do is I play the sport. Like I wrestle. I don't want to do commentary. People like Joe was really good at commentary. If they thought he was so good at commentary, they wouldn't have taken him off.
Yep.
So the whole point of your tweet, I totally understand, is like the man's back to doing what he loves.
Yeah.
And before that, he was standing in the rain in the poncho at WrestleMania. And people were like, at least he got on the show. Do you think that's exactly how Joe envisioned himself at WrestleMania?
Oh, and then immediately what ended up happening, like the thing is it started with like a couple of retweets and then it exploded. It just kept going. Like people kept liking and retweeting the damn thing, which by the way, everyone kept claiming, all y'all claiming ratio. Y'all don't know what a ratio is, okay? Because you're putting on your comments, you're putting on your retweets saying ratio, and he took a big fat L when there was about 4,300 people who liked the thing. Did 4,300 people like your thing? No. Were there more comments than 4,300? No. So it's not a ratio. So learn Twitter.
Spicy Coale. Spicy Coale is right.
You could be the third member of 2.0, by the way. That's one hell of a promo you got there.
Sports.
Entertainers. All right, let's go. Let's get through this card.
All right. Anyways, I'm just saying, this was my first experience with the tribalism of wrestling Twitter.
Welcome to my world.
I immediately texted you guys. I immediately texted other friends who deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Let me just say, I am how you guys deal with it. Like, you guys are amazing. So just gonna say
you
that.
get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, truly. But yeah, you know what? Let's talk about the wrestling that was enjoyable, and who cares how many fans were in the goddamn arena, because it was great wrestling.
Let's talk about the match that wasn't enjoyable for me. The finish that I didn't want to see coming.
Yeah.
Claudio goes over on Jonathan Gresham in a match that lasted, I believe, was like 11 minutes.
11:30.
For the ROH World title, Gresham doesn't even come out in his octopus mask. No Tully Blanchard. No heel tactics. To me, this was a terrible botch. Now it comes out that Gresham had beef with Khan. They had a screen match. He asked for his release. Yeah, I'd ask for my release too. Like, I've kept this title relevant when ROH wasn't here.
When it collapsed.
And I lose in a sub 15-minute match. Look, I'm happy Claudio got his title run, right? Like, that's great. But I think Gresham's earned a lot more than that. And I said when we did the show. I said my big issue will be if Gresham drops his title. You had a chance to establish an identity of a new guy.
It was a curtain jerker.
Yeah.
It opened the card.
And I thought because it was opening the card, I was like, oh, well, Gresham's definitely going over, because why would you do a title switch in an early match? But I'm so baffled by the heel turn that didn't play out in this match at all. It just makes me feel like, could be totally wrong, that Gresham found out the finish of this match, didn't like it, and was just like, I'm just going to go do the job. Like,
yeah.
Because even if you watch the match, it was fine.
It was cool.
But it wasn't the match we thought we would have got.
It wasn't a technical masterpiece. I mean, it was only 11 minutes.
11 minutes for your ROH title?
I mean, the main event 43 minutes.
It was a banger.
I understand the
I get
stipulation
it.
and you need some, but like, there's other matches on here you probably could have took away from.
I just don't get it. Claudio's a made guy. He's fine. You have a chance to establish Jonathan Gresham. And then the interview comes out the day before where he was like, why can't I just be the black guy who wrestles? Like, white guys who wrestle, they don't need a character. They're just a white guy who wrestles. Why can't I just be the black guy who wrestles? Why do people say I need a character?
Yeah.
I love the Gresham, the octopus smash. I love the foundation thing. I just think it was a total miss to not establish it. Because if that's the case, why did you even turn him heel? What was the point?
Again,
This was a creative disaster.
Yeah, they thought they had something, and then they're like, oh, we have this new piece. And then it's just like, this piece is shinier. Again, Tony does a lot of things right, but he's going to see a lot of the things he criticized of Vince McMahon for are inevitable in some things. You can't make everyone happy.
No, you can't,
And this is that case, like, and you just got to realize, like, do I risk alienating someone who is extremely talented, like Jonathan Gresham, for the sake of someone who has a bigger name in Claudio?
And the last thing I'll say about this, from a marketing perspective, I get it, right? I get it because you say, well, if Claudio's our ROH champion, it might be easier for us to sell pay-per-views.
Yep.
I get all those things, but me personally, I feel like if you're gonna, when they turn Gresham heel, I was like, well, they got to put him over because they just turned him heel. It doesn't make sense. And now you can like establish a feud, have him chasing something. Now Claudio's just a champion.
Yeah.
And this show went off the air with Claudio coming back out with Wheeler Yuta, fast forwarding a bit, basically challenging FTR. And I was like, wait, what are we doing? Because clearly now you're telling me the ROH tag title is more important than the ROH
main title,
world title. And I'm like,
because it headlined.
And
the champion is now going for that.
And I was like, dude, there are going to be a lot of people that say Claudio was the right decision. And I get what you're saying from a marketer's perspective. I just felt like you could have established Gresham as a true heel. And if you're going to have him with Blanchard, you could put that faction around him because every heel needs great protection. All those guys are monsters.
Yeah.
I just felt like they blew it.
I think, I agree with you as far as like, this is unfortunate. Like this is for Gresham, for someone who's been holding on to this title as Ring of Honor has gone through destruction and revival, right?
Yep.
So I feel horrible for Gresham. That said, if there's something that I feel like I've learned from as far as how Tony Khan operates, if Tony Khan likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't like you, he will let you know, or you will find out in one way. Like,
right.
Tony Khan has a way of, I feel like, he's definitely very sympathetic of everyone and their ideas. But if he doesn't like you, he will tell you that he just doesn't like you, right? And sometimes the optics of that have gone very well against him.
Yep.
We've talked about those cases on the podcast before. And this is a case of, I think, there's an appreciation for the history of Ring of Honor. Clearly he bought Ring of Honor because he loves Ring of Honor. He knows that they crafted, soon it became very apparent that they were the story that he wanted to craft was that Claudio had never won the big one.
Right.
The problem is that he had a guy in there with him that was not a Tony Khan guy. This is someone and this is the tricky part, when you inherit a champion rather than getting to pick and choose. This isn't Jericho, Hangman Page, right? This is Gresham's got the title. And you mix all those elements with it being a business decision, because what's going to sell you a TV deal? What's going to sell you more pay-per-views? An established star. People know
Claudio. Yeah, they know him more than Gresham.
There is no argument in any circle that Jonathan Gresham is anywhere on the level of popularity and level of notoriety in wrestling than Claudio Castagnoli. So you have someone who can hold the banner as you try to sell some kind of television deal. And it sucks because Gresham is great. And
he became collateral damage.
He became collateral damage.
Is it a problem, real quick, that there's so much merging and blending between AEW and ROH.
Could be.
Because I look at this,
Potentially.
Claudio leaves the champion. Wheeler Yuta retains. William Regal is out 3 times
Right.
during this. Now everyone in Blackpool Combat Club has a title. Except Daniel Bryan, who's injured.
Right.
Brian Danielson.
Oh, excuse me. Brian Danielson, who's injured, and he's coming back.
Yeah.
And there's plenty more titles for him to collect somewhere if you want it. But they're all showing up on Dynamite with gold from different companies. It's a conflict of interest. Because now, and what I see, and I can't dispute, like I'm not necessarily saying it, but people who do, I can't tell them that they're wrong. Just like ROH is AEW light. It's just AEW dark with a better history. It's, you go there, but really it's just to build people for ROH. Or, excuse me, for AEW. Not enough mid-card titles in AEW? Cool. You can get this ROH belt. You're building a faction for AEW just using a different company and alienating that entire company.
Time will certainly tell.
Yeah.
And by no means do I mean to play the let it play out card on you, but I think you are absolutely, those criticisms are absolutely valid. And like that is a huge concern going forward as far as them being separate.
Yeah, because that's what you got to do. You have to separate these two companies at some point, right? Like you have to, in some way, shape, or form. Like Claudio, you're just going to be an ROH. Some of you guys need to stay over there.
Just stay over there.
Or and when you're not
right, but or
not
if
right
you
now.
show up on AEW, it's like you show up on AEW as an ROH guy, working an ROH guy for an ROH pay per view. Here, going back to Cole, what you said, and then we can move on. Claudio never won the big one, but this wasn't the big one either.
Nope.
11-minute match is not the big one for Claudio.
Yeah,
No.
it didn't do him justice.
But you know who this does set up for a really cool title moment?
Who?
Eddie Kingston.
For who?
Claudio. They got the beef.
Oh, yeah.
ROH beef.
Yeah.
What if this is because like Eddie right now is running the like Eddie's getting the Tommy Dreamer treatment right now. Like he's getting in all these big matches. He's saying all the big stuff, you know, Jericho, I'm gonna make you bleed and all that, like, you know, all the stuff, but he keeps falling short. Well,
Yeah, I could do that.
well,
No matter.
You need to establish it soon, though.
Yeah, like
Get to work.
again, that is now an AEW.
No.
That you're bringing it up.
I agree.
No,
I agree.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, sooner or later,
Yeah,
I
what-
just want to. AEW did very well with saying, okay, we're going to give the belt to Jericho, but we're having quote unquote homegrown people in these routes, like in this picture.
There's a fundamental issue.
We need some who is homegrown ROH.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
Or is homegrown ROH just lower level AEW?
Right.
We got to get this distinction
We're gonna yeah.
sooner
Hopefully
or
there's
later. And then we'll just speed through. There's some good matches, but on this card, but we're running out of time, so we got to talk FTR versus the Briscoes.
I thought this was excellent.
Thought it was great.
I think the Cash
maybe not
Wheeler.
as good as the last one, but
No.
this is very good.
I think the Cash Wheeler table spot, the backdrop off.
Oh,
of
my god, he barely made it.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh
ooh.
my god.
I thought a lot of people said this was better than the first match. I didn't think so, but I still thought it was really good.
Yeah,
FTR is basically sewn up like tag team of the year. There is no question. There is nobody getting in the way of
no
this
one's
tag
catching.
team.
Nope.
It's just ridiculous how good they are.
Yep, they're gonna win a lot of end of the year awards.
Yeah,
they're gonna win a lot.
they've had one of the best years I've just seen. Period.
Top guys.
Yeah. I thought this match pretty much had it all. There was even the ref bump from the punch, and then he shows up and he had like blood on his mouth. I was like, the ref got
Everybody
color?
bled.
And the pile driver, the avalanche pile driver to
Oh.
finish it off.
Yep.
The big rig spot for FTR's first fall
yeah.
with the slide through the legs. Great. Like this match was great. But it feels like I don't know exactly what this means for the Briscoes. They
Yeah.
just signed that long-term deal. They clearly are ROH guys. I don't know what this means for them long-term. And is FTR just going to keep showing up on ROH? I don't know what the future holds. I'm very curious, but
There's
this match was
a
excellent.
lot of merging.
Yeah, there's a lot
Of
going
the-
on here, but this
like-
was an excellent match.
And again, I understand if you're trying to establish it for what it is. If your goal is a TV deal, then all right. But once you get it, then now what do we have?
Yeah, have all those guys
Because-
drop the titles.
Yeah, like you got to keep doing that if that's what got you to the dance, right? Like who who are going to be the second ROH title champions under Tony Khan's reign? Like, are you going to move over someone who's less utilized on AEW? Are you going to sign original talent now under the ROH banner?
They got enough talent.
Where?
I mean, AEW. I'm just saying.
Now, are you taking the bottom of AEW and saying they're not good for our main shows, but they're good enough for ROH?
Right.
Or are you signing ROH talent?
Well,
there's a difference.
Well, but there's also a third factor in there, and that's the Claudio roles. Like, where do you throw the people who are a little bit closer to the top in AEW? How do you mix? How do you throw some of those in there and go, okay, you're Ring of Honor?
Does it need to be mixed constantly?
No, but
you say you're Ring of Honor for 6 months. You're Ring of Honor for a year, and you're just Ring of Honor.
My point being, if it's all lower AEW, then you make it the minor leagues. You don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think the counter to that is saying, well, you don't have weekly, so they got to show up in AEW.
Yeah, but his goal is weekly
eventually.
television.
Yeah, but they don't.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't have that yet, right?
Yeah.
So eventually,
right now you're fine.
If you get a weekly, then you say, all right, Claudio, cool. I think there's an opportunity here to not make it look minor league because you do have a lot of talent that you're not even necessarily able to use, right? Like, you do have the Dante Martins and the Lee Moriartys. You do have that younger talent that you can begin to establish on AEW television with the purpose of moving them to ROH.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do that. Like, I get the whole strategy. I understand. It's like, well, we have to, like, Samoa Joe's an ROH guy.
Yep.
He doesn't show up on AEW TV a lot. And when he does, it's all about ROH.
So Lethal's an ROH guy.
He's an ROH guy.
Like ROH guy.
They can do that right. It's just the Gresham thing is just gonna stick in my side for a while because I just didn't like how that played out. But like when Joe won, I was like, all right, cool. He's an ROH guy.
Yep.
He will show up and defend the ROH title on TV every now and then he'll just he's an ROH guy.
Pay-per-view.
We gotta figure out what everybody else is doing. Like, dude, Dalton Castle and the boys win the 6-man tag. I was like, the fuck is going on here?
I didn't even know they were still together.
I didn't care. Castle's one of the biggest
none of
misses.
Our run-in spots.
No, nothing. There was no like debuts. There was nothing. I thought it was a good show, but a lot of it was forgettable.
Yeah.
Right?
It felt like it was setting something up.
Right.
Which I guess if you don't have weekly television, some of these pay-per-views have to establish storylines and be setups, right? Yeah. Which kind of feels shitty because it's supposed to be the payoff of something.
Yeah, yeah.
And even, I don't know, I don't watch weekly New Japan. They make the pay-per-views feel like the end of something.
Yeah. You know what match really stuck out though? Deeb versus Mercedes Martinez.
That was great.
Because it started off and I was like, this is all right. I like both these women, but is this going to be good? And as the momentum kept going, I was like, this is a really fucking good match. And I was like, all right, both of you need to stay in ROH, right? Yeah. Like, Serena Deeb, you're at that point now, like, we don't need to see you in AEW right now. Like, you can go to ROH and get it done. Other than that, like, this was a good show. Wasn't their best show. A lot of interest in the show. We had a great tag match.
I was going to say, that wasn't the match that I thought you were going to bring up.
Which match?
Because I thought the obviously FTR Briscoes was match of the night.
Yeah.
Roosh Dragon Lee slapped.
Yeah, that was about to say, these two, they tried to kill themselves this time.
That match was awesome.
But that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Is Roosh the next guy in line for Claudio? Roosh never lost that title.
No, because they're making Roosh pretty prominent on AEW.
But does that mean Andrade goes to ROH? Because he hasn't really been doing anything in AEW.
Like, this is going to get so complicated.
It is, but like, just fantasy book for a minute. FTR versus Andrade and Roosh for those tag titles. I'm interested in that.
Me too.
Maybe that's how you get it back over the Briscoes too.
Maybe. I think Roosh being signed, I think he's an ROH guy, man. Like, AEW's got a lot of people. And if they go weekly, they can completely put Andrade and Roosh over there, and I'd be like, all right, cool. Two guys who are established. Andrade has not hit his stride in AEW.
No.
He has an opportunity to really establish himself in ROH. Hell, he could challenge Samoa Joe for the TV title, and I'd be like, that's perfect booking.
Believable. Yeah.
Get him, but both of them need to go there now.
And then it's a case of like, stick to the party line.
Yep.
Until we incorporate a draft. And then we have
let's
then we have a pay-per-view where there's a series of survival challenges between two brands.
I'm done with my water. Can we go now?
And then there's an angle where their TV deal goes and they invade
It's
Okay.
scary because you got like a direct line to Tony Khan.
Turn Cole's mic off. Turn Cole's mic off.
They invade AEW Pro, or it's the other way around.
AW
Cole.
invades.
Yeah,
Let's
what?
ROH.
That's enough.
Okay.
Can we go-
Fantasy
can we go
booking
now?
Cole.
Jesus
sorry.
Christ.
It's been a good
You
one.
got carried away.
Clearly, Cole is losing his mind towards the end
Send
of
the
this.
Twitter bots back at Cole. Send him back. Send him.
Come on, man.
Cole has lost his mind. That means it's time for the end of the show. We appreciate everyone. Thank you. Long ass wrestling show, but it was great to sit down and talk everything that happened in pro wrestling. We'll be back on Thursday or Friday for you guys, talking boxing and MMA.
UFC
on that
277.
show. Yes, UFC 277. Couple of boxing matches this weekend. Danny Garcia's coming back.
Yeah,
So we have to talk about that. Until then, we appreciate you all. Shout out to everyone at Blue Wire Studios, everyone in the booth, everyone here at the Wynn Resort. You can follow us on social media. You guys know the handles, as always. For myself, the old man Andreas Hale, for producer Coale, baby. We out of here. Until next time, we're out.
Peace.
Baby.